Hi everyone, a new video about Kubernetes, and today we will discover Kubeadm. So it's a dedicated tool provided by the Kubernetes community, and the purpose is to install and to manage a Kubernetes cluster. And what is the scope in fact of this tool is to install a cluster, of course. So when we say install a cluster, that means it's install all components that we could have inside the cluster, so the scheduler, the API server, and so on. And in the same time, and we will discover that in really in some further videos, we will discover how to do that manually, so without Kubeadm, and with we will install manually each tool to well understand how it works. So this is what what the community named the hard way. So this is yes, the hard way on how to install Kubernetes. How to do that is just to well understand how work a cluster, and in details how to set each component and so on. Yes, so when you want to install a Kubernetes cluster, you need to have a lot of TLS certificate to ensure the MTLS connection between like each component. And to do that, Kubeadm is really cool, because it just provide this feature to avoid you to create all certificate. It provide as well the future to just renew certificate, because when you create certificate, probably you will have an expiration about this certificate, and you need to take care about it. So that means that maybe you want to check your certificate and you want to renew it, and this tool provide you this kind of feature. You have a cluster, you need to manage it, and probably you will need to upgrade it, and this is what Kubeadm allows to do. With only few command line, you can upgrade your cluster, because when you use Kubeadm, you just say, okay, I want to upgrade the entire cluster. But in fact, if you just want to manage each component just one per one, you will have more difficulties to do it, because for each component you need to manage the version, and to ensure on each node to push the good version, the new version, and so on, and to do that on all nodes inside the cluster. So it's not really what we can say like an happiness, of course. Yes, renew certificate, and sometimes used by other installations. That means that Kubeadm can be in the background on some installation. For example, if you know, maybe not, the Kubespray. So it's another way to install Kubernetes cluster, but in fact, Kubespray is not just in fact, but a part of the scope of Kubespray. It's to use Kubeadm to install a Kubernetes cluster with Ansible. In fact, it's an Ansible playbook, like to install a Kubernetes cluster with Kubeadm, but with a lot of things, in fact, around your cluster. For example, how to install some ingress controllers, and how to manage some dependencies with cloud providers like OpenStack and so on. So it's really more than just the Kubeadm usage. And what will be the plan, in fact, to use Kubeadm and to install a cluster with Kubeadm? We will do and we will perform some operations like disable the swap on all nodes, install containerd on all nodes, because I decided to use containerd at all times that I use or I want to install Kubernetes. But you can install, or you could install like a Creo or some other container runtime, high-level container runtime, and you can do it if you want, or you can test it. We will ensure to activate some kernel modules, or just to check if it present on the server. We will check some sysctl parameters, and we will install the Kubernetes repository, apt repository, because we will use our classical Debian or Ubuntu, and this is the second part of this video, just to prepare our infrastructure to be sure to have multiple virtual machine to install masters and workers. And after that, we will have our apt repository, so it will be easy to install Kubeadm because it's provided by the apt repository. But in fact, this is not totally magic, because you can have a look on internet, and on the web you can find a lot of information, like directly from the official Kubernetes documentation, but you can have a look and switch a bit. Yes, if you scroll down, you will have like the GitHub repository about its a specific Kubeadm repository, and you will have into it a lot of things, a lot of details on what is Kubeadm. After this installation, so Kubeadm, kubelet, kubectl, so this is the first step. Like you see, Kubeadm won't install directly kubelet and kubectl, so this is what you need to install by yourself, and the rest is totally managed by Kubeadm, meaning that if you want to upgrade your cluster, probably you will need, I don't remember exactly, you will need to upgrade by yourself the kubelet. Then we will perform the master initialization, meaning that we will just choose a first node to install the cluster, initiate the cluster on this node. We will install on it the container network interface plugin, and in our case, I don't remember exactly which one, maybe Calico or stuff like that. And later we will discover kuberouter and so on. And after that, we will join workers and some other masters, meaning that we will have like a real cluster with 3 masters at the end and 2 workers. So this is the next step, and now just how to prepare our infrastructure to be sure to have enough servers to create our cluster. So as a prerequisite, you need to have like so I use Vagrant again. This is exactly what we did previously in some videos, like with K0s for stuff like that. We will have the Vagrant loop, and into it we will here just set a command variable with some classical installation, but outside the scope of Kubeadm, so it's not mandatory to have it. Maybe just a Git or stuff like that, but it's not really important. And after that we will have Debian, so it's bookworm, but we could probably upgrade it. I will check if I can switch. And after that we will set as usual our nodes list with our hash, meaning that we have a key value at each time. So hostname based on Kubeadm 1, 2, and 3 for each of our master, meaning that in the type we will have the kube init, so it's the first of the first master, and after that kube master again. For master, like you can see, we have 4 CPUs and just 2 GB of RAM, and for our workers it's Kubeadm 1 and 2, sorry, and we have only 2 CPU. It's enough for our workers. That's it. In fact, we have 5 nodes, and then we create our classical loop with so the goal is to create a new variable etc host. We increment it with echo and here double upper things, and then the /etc/host. Okay, it's just to say I want to edit the etc host when I will execute the /etc host variable, so it's not at this moment. And after that, another loop to provision our virtual server. We make the loop on the node, like here, based on the node iteration, and we will provision it in the Vagrant, with Vagrant and the VirtualBox provider. Okay, and after that we will execute on each node, and it's a loop, an iterative loop, so server per server, server by server, and we will execute the etc host, meaning that we will edit and execute these lines. We will execute the command, so these lines, and after that we will execute. So it's just, for me, it's install Xavkey. It's just I want to push a specific bashrc directly in my host, and I will have some aliases here and specific things just to keep more history in my bash history. Okay, and after that I want to push my my SSH key for the Vagrant user and for the root user. So I will push my public key directly inside the .ssh repository directory inside each home, so the root home and the Vagrant home in the authorized keys file. Okay, and that's it, in fact. So if we just apply it, just to test it, if I use Vagrant up, so it's my alias again, like that, we can wait a bit just to be sure to have one node up and running, and we will let the other for the next video. And just a little bit of teasing, but for the next video we will discover what is containerd. So just to know some command line that we can use with containerd, and to understand why we use it inside Kubernetes. Okay, so if I check, it seems to be good. We will have the Kubeadm 1, so I can try to connect on it with Vagrant, SSH, and Kubeadm 1, like that, and probably it's good. Yes, we can go on it, so it's perfect. So I will let this provisioning. And that's it for today. Thank you for following this video. See you in the next one for the containerd discovery. And don't hesitate to like and comment this video. If you want to download all things about all courses, you can go directly in the description below this video. You will have one link in one repository, and you will have into this repository, GitLab repository, a lot of subdirectories to where you can find all elements that we use inside all videos. See you and bye bye.